Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Been joined by Dave Coldwell, former trainer of Derek Chisora. Just tell me about last night, Dave, because I was watching it. I went round to my dad's to watch it. I said, look, this is a great card. Frank's put two great cards back to back. And then we got to that main event last night, and I was just like, I didn't even know how to describe it, but I was sort of on the edge of my seat from sort of round two, onwards, just like, what the hell's going to happen? Just give me your sort of initial reaction to it.
Madness, just pure madness. It's a. Do you know what? Obviously, me and Derek are still get on with him, still message, he still calls me, FaceTimes me. I'm just over the moon for him. More than anything, I'm over the moon for him. I've made me feelings clear to him, to everybody before. I would have preferred to see him retire a few fights ago. Not because I don't feel as though he can win any more fights, because I don't like seeing him get hit like he's getting hit. Once I work with somebody, I've got an emotional attachment to him, and I don't want to see him getting punched in the head as often, especially when they get into later stages of career. But I've always said Derek's his own man. He'll keep on going until he's had enough, and he has stated that 50 fights is his end. And that was his last one at the O2. So it was a very, very emotional night for him. I know that'll have meant a lot to him, because the O2 he's seen at his home. He loves that venue. He's very, very proud of being from London. He's a real proud man. He's proud to be British, proud to be from London. And he wears his heart on his sleeve. And every time he gets in there, he gives it everything he's got. Well, last night was more the same. He had nothing left, but he kept dragging things. And what he's clever at is he'll hit you with one or two bombs just to by himself time. Even when he's knackered, he's got nothing left and he's staggering around on his legs. He won't just go into a shell where you just attack. He'll look to sling one at you and makes you think, whoa, hang on a minute, I can't just walk in and throw loads of leather. And when you put the brakes on, he gets a little bit of air back, saves him for the next attack. And that's what it was doing. And he done brilliant. I mean, it looked like he was on the way out, and then he finds this right hand. He walks Joe straight onto this right hand, puts him on his arse. He is. I said to him this morning, he's an alien. He's genuinely I think he's the toughest man I've ever come across. Forget that I've worked with, that I've come across in boxing. And in that respect, I mean, even when he's getting beat, even when he's hard and it looks like he's got no chance of winning, he will not quit. He will not stop trying to win. He will not stop trying to knock you out. And I think that's why he's such a fan favorite, because he doesn't just settle in and think, okay, I'm going to lose on points. I'm just not going to get hurt. I'm going to lose on. He doesn't. He keeps rolling that dice, trying to pull it off, trying to turn it around. Unbelievable mentality and character.
Well, I think you alluded to it there. You think that's why obviously he's got this this fanfare. But how many fighters can you see with? I know we're coming into that era where the best are fighting the best, and we've spoke about it. But how many fighters can have double-figure losses and still carry that same pull, and he's still headlining shows? But yeah, in terms of obviously, I know the relationship you've had with him. Did you have him up on the scorecards at the end of the fight? Because commentary, Carl Frampton was scoring, and he was hilarious. Actually, I was laughing, going, Carl's like been bang on, I thought, the whole night. And that last fight, I was like, I was like, what? Because I had him winning. I thought Derek's won this. I'm just not sure how it's going, because Carl was speaking quite loud. I'm thinking, I've not seen out here. And how did you see it?
Even when Joe was on top of him, Joe would cash him a couple of clumping shots, but then he'd throw 4 or 5 shots at a time, and Derek's making him miss.
Yes.
Or Joe just missing. Yeah. So just because somebody's throwing, even though it gives you that percent, but I just feel as though sometimes, when you're commentating, when it's a fight like that, that's just you're saying that you found it mad and you thought, wow. Well, I know it's your job when you commentate and you're supposed to be able to just detach yourself. But at the end of the day, you're watching the same thing and you can't help but feel like, what is going on? And sometimes you see things differently. When commentating, you're not judging. The judge has got to literally watch every shot that lands and misses or whatever, and have no emotion. Don't get wrapped up in what kind of fight it is. Don't get wrapped up in the atmosphere and stuff like that. But commentators aren't judges. We're just, or like Carl, anybody, you're just speaking what you're seeing yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like lads watching it, families watching it, people watching it at home, in a pub. You're all just watching, you're getting him, and then he'll think that he's one, he'll think that he's one. We're all just fans watching it at the same time. It's just that we're giving our opinion. You give your opinion with your mates when you're sat in the living room, or your dad when you're sat in the living room.
Yeah.
Your mates will give you opinions when you're in a pub. We're giving our opinions on a mic, you know, and I think it needs to be taken with a pinch of salt, our opinions as well, because it doesn't mean that we're right, you know, it doesn't mean that we got it bang on.
Oh, I found him comical because I think I was watching it, like I said, with my dad, and I was like, you know, Carl, every fight, I was like, you know, Carl's, because I rate him, I think he should be on more
really good,
to be honest, because he's straight up, there's no nonsense with him kind of thing. And then the last fight, at one point, I think he said something like, I don't even know. I was just like, that's brilliant. That's what we want to hear, kind of thing.
But that's how it is. I mean, sometimes you'll be watching a fight, and again, like I said, it's not life and death whether we're scoring it right or not. But sometimes you get involved in a fight that much, because don't forget, when you're commentating, it's not like you just watch it, you're that close. Yeah. You're so close to the ring, so you're seeing every shot. You're hearing shots whistling past, you're hearing shots landing, and the atmosphere, and you get that involved in it that sometimes it's like you look at it and think, who won that round? You know, that's why I'm saying it is an opinion that shouldn't. It's not gospel when a commentator says he won.
Dell's obviously said he's got 2 fights left. We'll just touch on Dell for a second a bit more. He said Manchester's going to be one. God knows where the last one is, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
I wonder if it's back in Zimbabwe or something. I know he'd love to. He's always said he'd love to fight back there. So whether he can get somebody to put a fight on over there, I don't know.
I saw him referencing in the IFL reel that I've just seen. Said it'd be cool to fight Zhang in China, and I just thought, oh my god, like wow, we're dealing with Manchester first. But Manchester, in terms of an opponent wise, and I know a lot of people have the same opinion, and I know you've stated it before. It'd be nice to see him. I think, like, in a normal person's world, that'd have been a great way to sign off last night. Dell's that fighter. It doesn't matter. He's already made his mind up what he's doing, that kind of thing. We all know.
Yeah.
He's a Dillian Whyte trilogy. I mean, Dillian's had a long time out doing. Is that a viable next fight for him? You know, to see that one.
I think where they both are in the careers, then if you're going to carry on, then why not? Listen, I'm not today. This is, you know, I don't want to piss on Dell's bonfire. So my own opinion about what should be next, and me being worried about him and things like that, I don't want to speak about that today.
Yes,
that'll come in, you know, when his next fight gets made or whatever like that. I don't care. But Dell's going to carry on. You know, I just want him to be safe. But he's going to carry on. He's going to get hit again, and he's going to get hit whether it's somebody at a low level or at a higher level. I think a Dillian Whyte fight, perhaps. So, because that would still sell in Manchester.
Yeah.
You know, I think, like I said, at the stage that they're at, you know, it's not a case of Dillian has one win and then he's in a world title shot. He's way away from a world title shot as well. You know, so there's a lot of history there and everything. And I know there's a lot more respect between them both now. Mm-hmm. But when the bell goes, they'll both will come out gunslinging, and so that's another fight where you're going to be kind of watching it like that. You know, so if they're going to fight again, then why not fight each other? Yeah,
100%. On the flip side of that, Joe Joyce, obviously a tough one to take. I know he had the 2 defeats to Zhang, and 18 months before the Zhang fights, everyone was waxing lyrical. I think rightly so as well. He put together an incredible winning streak of victories. What he did to Joseph Parker, who then went on to beat Zhang and Wilder. Boxing's a funny old world, but he came back against Cash Ali, and you forgive him for sort of maybe a laboured performance, but then obviously a defeat to Derek Chisora. Look, Dell's done it and he's come back, and I think Joe said, "Look, I'll be back." What sort of position's he in now in terms of an avenue back? Because it's a difficult.
Listen, this is the sad thing when you've been at a higher level and then you start dropping down the ladder. you then become a great name for the next generation.
Yeah.
So if Joe Joyce is going to carry on, that's where he's at. Because it's one thing getting beat by Zhang, looking poor in a comeback fight off of that. But then to get beat by Derek, who himself isn't the same fighter that he once was.
Yeah.
You know, a lot, not just me, a lot of us kind of build it as who had the most left would win the fight. And when you see the state of the player, that how Derek's looked in, you know, over the last few years, and how Joyce has been beaten by him, and what made Joyce such a scary opponent was his toughness, his relentless come forward, non-stop punching, his energy, his strength, everything about it. It was never fast, it was never easy to hit, but the relentlessness and the toughness, just shots bouncing off it and walking you down, that is what got him the wins. That is what, you know, made him the guy that people like, that's an hard night work. I don't need that. Now the toughness seems to be waning like pretty much. When he's getting hit with those shots now, it's not deterring the fighters that he had. You know, before you'd see the look on the fighters, they'd land big shots on Joyce, and he just walk carrying on, bam, 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 and you'd see him, it'd break their hearts. Nobody's heart's going to be getting broke now. You know, there's always that. Again, Joyce is in a position where I feel about Derek, but it's none of my business. He'll do what he wants to do. But seriously, all he's going to be, I think, is a name for the next crop of domestic heavyweights.
When you look at the next crop coming through as well, I think we have to mention this man, Moses Itauma.
Outstanding.
I mean, look, not many people do that to Marius Wack in that fashion. I don't care how old he is, 2,404. Like, you know, at the level Moses is at and the age he's at, the footwork, the punching from angles, the left that caught him before he put him down. He looked quick, and obviously you'll only gauge how good he is maybe when he's taken a shot.
He caught him in the first round with a right hand, a chopping right hand, and then you saw Marius Wack back up to the ropes.
Yeah,
and he felt that power then, and that changed, because up to that he was quite comfortable in throwing himself. He was trying to throw, but Moses is. Listen, let's not be that. We all knew that Moses was going to win the fight. Right? Yes. Marius Wack is just he is that guy where you use a good name that's been around the block, that's fought everybody. Give him a young prospect and say, go and look good. Let's see how impressive you are in this fight. So I expected him to do a job on him. I expected him to look good. But I expected him to take about 6 rounds, if you want me to be honest. About 5-6 rounds I thought it'd take him. But for me, all the elite prospects, when they're given that fighter, go out there and dismiss them as though they're not weren't even a step up, right? Good fighters will have a couple of problems or have to chip away, work a few things out, you know, maybe be a little bit more patient than what they normally are, and then get rid of them. But the elite go out there and smash them, right? Yeah. Moses went out there and smashed him. But how he did it, what impresses me, and I'm not, like I said, when I'm saying I think he's the best. For me, he's the most exciting, the best heavyweight prospect in world boxing right now, right? And the reason why I say that isn't based on who he's fighting. It's what I see him doing. It's what he's doing and how he's doing things. That was effortless last night. It's not like it's not like loading up on every shot and missing 5 shots and 6 shots and then getting that last shot in. And yeah, his accuracy was fantastic. His mixing up and down was fantastic. His punch variety was fantastic. His feet were great as he's moving and punching. Mate, I'm looking at what he's doing.
Yeah, 100%.
And people can say, you know, people say, oh, you blow his smoke was out. I'm not. I've seen so many prospects come and go. It's very rare that I actually get excited about a prospect. because I always say that same thing. Let's see what it's like when he gets it on chin. Listen, I've been told this kid was sparring people like Joshua at about 14, 15 years old. You know, he's been around the game a long time. You know, so it's not like he's a new kid that we've not heard anything about. He's never been hit before. I know sparring, but if he's from a young age being in with top fighters, you know, and now sparring with Furies and people like that, and going around and sparring all the top fighters, if he from a young age he's worldly in that ring. He understands what's going on in that ring. I hear as a student. I don't know. I met him once. I met him in Belfast when Stephen Cairns boxed last month. Really, really nice kid. I was shocked at how tall he was because I didn't actually think he was that big.
A big boy, like.
He's big as well. He's tall as well. But I think he's and listen, he's got Ben Davison, Lee Wiley, and Barry in that gym, and he's working alongside Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
he's in a great stable. He's in a great setup, and so because he's a student and he's got people around him that are students of the game, how is he not going to get better? You know, this is boxing. You get out on chin, you can get knocked out. It can happen to anybody. So what do? We never rate a prospect because just soon one day they're going to get out on chin. They might get found out. You can enjoy the ride. Don't rush him. There are plenty of fights out there. Still, we are having to sling him into, you know, too quick. This way, trying to rush him into world level. Listen, they'll do what they, you know. Frank Warren and Queensberry, they've for years and years and years, they've developed young fighters really, really well. So I'm not telling them what to do, but for me, I won't rush them. I'd be like, there's plenty of fights out there, like your Solomon Dakers and people like that. Get those fights made. You know, that's. I think he beats people like that quite comfortably, but it's again another step, another fight, another bit of experience. You know, so yeah, I think he's outstanding talent.
That middle ground that you just mentioned there is so important because when you watch him, like you say, and we're all guilty of it, oh, he's the next big thing and rah, 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 and then everyone always loves to throw it in your face, but you can only go off what you see to this point.
Yeah.
But I was saying in the conversation I had last night, I said the problem is with him, like, it's this middle ground here he needs to fill. Like, it'd be easy to say, oh, chuck him in here. But I said, if he goes too far and something goes wrong, whereas he's not had that middle sort of level of seasoning with mentioned there with your Dakers, your Adelaide, who's going to come back as well.
Yeah.
Fabio, if you don't do this section, it's, you know, it can be detrimental maybe further down the line. I think you concur with that as well, kind of thing.
Yeah, I call them bridging fights. You know, each level you want to go to, you want a little bridging fight step, not just jump from nothing to all of a sudden you go up there. You know, but that's down to the matchmaker and the promoter's job as management team. Good luck to you and the trainers. So that's what they've got to do. If they get it right, this kid's special. He's got, like I said, you can only go on. People say, oh, yeah, but I fought him. Oh, how you don't know nothing about boxing. You boxed him, but I don't care who the boxing. I'm looking at what he's doing. Yeah. I'll look at what he's doing. I'll take care of my opinion based on what I see. I'm you know, get it wrong, not a problem. But right now, from what I'm seeing, what he's doing, I rate the kid. I rate his attitude. I rate the kid. And like you say, if the right steps are brought up and he's not just rushed, then great.
100%. Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see what he's going to do moving forward. Dave, look, I appreciate your time. There'll be another opportunity to catch up on some of the other fights that are coming up. But yeah, I appreciate you jumping on. Sorry about the time issues at the start, but
well, I weren't going to say anything, but
no, come on. I'm pretty bang on normally. Like, that's miscommunication on my part, maybe. But we got there in the end.
Got there in the end, mate. Got there in the end.
Right. Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and
cheers, Andrew.
Catch up soon.